To be honest, the way we are seeing it in the north is that Tinubu is taking us for granted. Professor Yusuf says, wow. So already the North is beginning to see Tinubu as taking the North for granted. So it's not only the Southeast that is taking for granted and abusing, it's not only the South-South, he's also taking for granted. He's also now seen as taking the North for granted. So at the end of the day, Tinubu might lose his base support both in the Southeast, in the South, and in the North, and probably in the Middle Belt, because even Middle Belt does not believe in him. Then where will he run to? That is the big question. So that is what is coming. The North is seeing Tinubu as taking them for granted. And how long will that continue to be? What led to that? Because they actually voted for him to also get there in power. Professor Usman Yusuf, former National Health Insurance Scheme, NHIS, said that, to be honest, the way they are seeing President Bola Tinubu in the North is that he is taking them for granted. Professor Usman Yusuf made the statement in an interview with AIT during the Focus program when he was airing his view on Niger coup, and he was asked a follow-up question that President Tinubu is president of Nigeria and not president of only northern Nigeria, and he may be considering the overriding national interest. Professor Usman earlier said that those of them in the north, their clerics, lawmakers, traditional rulers, and the people of the northern extraction have said no, and that they don't want war in Niger. He said the Nigerians are like their brothers and they are closely related because of long-term relationships, intermarriage, and all of that. However, he said his insinuation is that President Tinubu has not been speaking to Nigerians, but all they have seen is that Tinubu and his advisors are in a conference meeting with ECOWAS. He said his security advisors, service chiefs, or any monster that came to talk to them. Okay, he said Tinubu did not talk to anybody, but just wrote to Senate to permit him to go to war. To be honest, this is the way we are seeing it in the North. He is taking us for granted. This is huge contempt of the people. Wow. So the issue here is that saying Tinubu has taken the North for granted because of that plan to go to war in Niger Republic. Okay, he did not talk to anybody. He did not address the nation. He did not even consult anybody. He just went and filed a letter to the Senate to ask for permission to send Nigerian soldiers to fight in Niger. And to be frank, too, the Northerners don't want to fight with Nigerians. They don't want war in Niger because they are brothers that have lived together, shared the same culture, intermarried together, and then lived together, depended on each other for a long while. And so they don't want that war. Okay, and for Tinubu to plan to go to war after having conference meeting with ECOWAS without consulting the North or anybody, that means he's taking the North for granted, or probably taking everybody, the whole Nigerians, for granted, and that is not acceptable. That has to stop. Okay, so that is exactly what Professor Yusuf, the former secretary to National Health Insurance Scheme (NHIS), is saying here. So Nigeria should watch Tinubu's behavior then, because it means that he's taking everybody for granted, and that is not acceptable. That is absolutely not acceptable. Somebody is making some comments here. Some people are making their comments, are making their contributions. And one person saying, why wouldn't he take you for granted? I mean, why? After all, after all you do is curry personal favor with no any tangible agenda for the region. It is nothing but self-centeredness, self-aggrandizement, and insolent effrontery. Such myopic and thoughtlessness is now can you imagine? Boomeranging. That's what it's trying to say there. Meanwhile, the ever-gullible Northerner, daft as he is, was malicious, hoodwinked, using debate of religious card. We should stop complaining squarely face the consequence of our actions. Simple. Can you imagine? So this is Huma Marafa. So this person is speaking, is a Northerner also speaking against the North for, supporting, uh, you know, uh, playing religious card in politics to get what they want. Now they should face it squarely because they brought Tinubu in using this religious card as well. Professor, why are you blaming Tinubu? Are you not? Are you not people representing there? I think it's a joint decision by your children. I mean, Shetima, Vice President, and others, senators from the North. And then someone else is asking, in as much I don't want the war to go on, can't make this man to be talking rubbish. When Buhari is there with his useless character, where are you? Where were you then? Okay, Northern Nigeria have taken other countrymen for long granted, and now you are making noise showing your empty brain. If it is for you, I could have asked that the war should start immediately. Can you imagine? So when Buhari was there, say he didn't say anything. Now that Buhari is gone, you are now coming to speak. What are you saying? Okay, what are you saying? And how does what you're saying benefit anybody around? Okay, so you should bear it. Okay, don't say anything. That is what this person is saying now. That Professor Yusuf should not say anything. So may say, Mumuma, which soldiers is he sending? The ECOWAS soldier or Nigerian soldier? That is a big question. Because the truth is that ECOWAS does not have soldiers on ground. Okay, after the Liberian War, the Sierra Leonean War, the ECOMOG got dissolved. And so ECOWAS is never ready and has never been ready since then to fight any war in any West African country as a joint force. So it's now they're going to build it, and I'm sure they find it very difficult to build it. They are not going to be able to send any soldier to Niger because, first of all, organizing the soldiers will take a long time and will be going to be very challenging. Providing the funding, providing the logistics, providing all the resources needed to go and fight that war, providing the leadership that is required to coordinate that war will always be a big challenge. They just can't help it. Okay? They just can't help it. So they don't have soldiers. They can't even go there. Okay? So even though Professor Yusuf here and some Northerners are saying Tinubu is taking them for granted, well, Tinubu is not talking to anybody and they did not address the nation with respect to that war. And so shouldn't embark on that war. That is the truth until due consultations are made. So thank you for listening, and let's have a comment on what Professor Yusuf is saying about Tinubu taking the North for granted with respect to declaration of war in Niger Republic.